literally the reason why I wanted to make this video is because recently Hills Advocate, Cjax, and Intern, they've been saying some things about Drew McIntyre, and like the things they've been saying, I just don't really agree with what they've been saying. And I think a lot of the stuff they've been saying doesn't really make any sense. And I think doesn't really align with what some of the stuff that they're wanting either. And so I'm going to pretty much make this video talking about the I guess the things that they don't like about Drew McIntyre and what they don't like about him as a champion. Because that's basically what this is about. Because, you know, they pretty much, I've been seeing some of their recent videos of Cjax and, you know, Intern John, Heels Advocate. Pretty much they've pretty much just been, you know, hating on Drew McIntyre's you know, championship reign. And I just pretty much want to respond to all the critiques that they had and why I don't agree with it and why I think the stuff they're saying doesn't make any sense at all. And pretty much, yeah, I'm pretty much just going to rebuttal everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, pretty much we're going to talk about it. We're going to, comment down below if you want me to make more of these kinds of videos. Because, you know, like I said, I like Intern John. I like Hills Advocate. I like Cjax. I watch all their videos pretty much, almost all of them. And so I think they're great YouTubers. They're entertaining, but I disagree with some of the stuff I've been seeing them say about Drew McIntyre recently with their recent videos. They've been like, I'm going to go step by step. So pretty much one of the things that they said about Drew McIntyre's championship reign, that why they think it sucks, is because Drew McIntyre is, he's always like pretty much running away or whatever, right? That's one of their main things, that he's being booked like a coward champion or whatever. And while I see their point to some extent, but there's something that I feel like they're kind of missing here. And that's the fact that the only time he ran away cowardly was when, like, I think it was pretty much like the first time Jacob Fatu had attacked Drew McIntyre. Whenever the week after Drew McIntyre won the championship in Germany, a week later he cuts his promo. Then Jacob Fatu comes out. Drew McIntyre runs away. He has like a scared look on his face. And when he was talking to Ilya Dragunov, he had a scared look on his face as well. So that was the only time where he ran away looking scared, like actually being cowardly. All the other times that he ran away, it was more so just him trying to get out of the situation because he was sneak attacked. So, or he's just simply trying to avoid confrontation. Like whenever last week when he ran away from Cody Rhodes after he attacked Randy Orton. That's all it is. He's not really running away cowardly. He's like laughing and like kind of like just like almost like trolling, like not, and just trying to, or if he sneak attacked, he's just trying to get out of the situation. The only time he ran away looking like a coward was when he was the first time he ran away from Jacob, whenever Jacob Fatu had came back. And, like the week after he had won the championship, Jacob Fatu came out, attacked him. And, like I said, Drew McIntyre looked scared, and even backstage he looked scared. So that was the only time where he ran away looking cowardly. Just because, that's the thing, is that just because you run away from someone doesn't mean that, like in WWE at least, when you're running away, doesn't mean that they're cowardly. Because like there's been characters who have been portrayed as dominant that have ran away from a fight or whatever. Like that doesn't mean that they're a coward. Doesn't mean they're scared or whatever. Especially if they're not being presented that way. The only time he was presented that way was the first time Jacob Fatu had attacked him. Like you could say in 3 Stages of Hell too, like, but not even, because he more so just looked shocked in three Stages of Hell, and was just like trying not to get screwed over by Jacob Fatu. It's not because he was scared; he was just trying not to get screwed over. So he was just trying to get out of the situation. The only time he looked scared was whenever, like I said, the first time he was attacked after he won the championship by Jacob Fatu. He literally, Jacob Fatu came out, attacked him after he cut his promo with, and, he was like standing in the ring. Then Jacob Fatu comes out and attacks him. And like I said, Drew McIntyre looked scared in that moment. And when he was talking backstage. But all the other times that he was attacked and he ran away, he was not doing it because he was scared, So that doesn't even make any sense. The whole cowardly narrative doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Because I don't think he's really being a coward champion at all. And like people want to talk about, oh, but what about when he got slapped by Sami Zayn? Like I've even heard them point that out, right? And it's like, bro, like I said, even Sami Zayn, like, yeah, he slapped him in his face. He didn't do anything about it. Whatever. But it's like, he was attacked and, slapped in the face, sure, whatever. He was attacked by Sami, but like, he was more so just like, he didn't really do anything, not because he was scared. It was just because he was angry. He was just like too like angry to really do anything. He was just like soaking in all the anger from him getting slapped. So yeah, he didn't do anything, but that doesn't mean he was being a coward, So yeah, that doesn't make any sense either, That's like saying, oh, was Cody Rhodes scared because he didn't slap Zelina Vega? He didn't like slap, he didn't like do anything whenever she slapped him in the face. Or when Rhea Ripley slapped him in the face, like, he didn't do anything there either. So are you going to say he's a coward? It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. CM Punk, even he got slapped in the face by Becky Lynch. He didn't do anything. Seth Rollins got slapped in the face by AJ Lee. He didn't do anything. So yeah, it's like, it's not really about being cowardly. It's just like more so just them not simply doing anything. That's all it is. So yeah. Is it stupid? Sure. But, like, it doesn't mean they're being cowardly, So, I disagree with Intern John and Heels Advocate and Cjax on that. That was the first point that I wanted to make with what they were talking about with Drew McIntyre's championship reign on why they don't like it. They meant, that was one of the reasons, because they said he's being booked like a coward champion, he's just a coward. So, I'm pretty much, I gave my reasons right now why I disagree with that. Because he's not being a coward champion at all. Besides maybe one incident, and that's it. And also, they want to talk about how he's a coward champion because the way he won the championship, right? He's like, Jacob Fatu came and interfered or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which, the thing is that it's funny that they say that. The Intern John Heels Advocate and Cjax, they want to say that, but yet they forget the fact that Drew McIntyre was already crawling out the cage before Jacob Fatu had even arrived there. Like, Cody Rhodes was literally on the other side of the steel cage, just crawling in pain, not doing anything, while Drew McIntyre was literally already almost out the cage. So Drew McIntyre would have won regardless, Jacob Fatu's interference didn't help Drew McIntyre win. It was Cody Rhodes being a fucking idiot is what, caused Drew McIntyre to win. Cody Rhodes screwed himself. Y'all are acting like Jacob Fatu came and screwed Cody Rhodes, and that's why Drew McIntyre won. That's fucking bullshit. So yeah, like, I just don't understand why, why they're acting like. I don't understand why he was Advocate, Intern John, and Cjax are acting like Drew McIntyre, he only won out of some kind of miracle because Jacob Fatu came and interfered. Like, come on, bro. He was literally, even Jacob Fatu pointed it out himself, that Drew was already crawling out the cage and was about to win before he had even gotten there. So why are we making excuses? Yeah, like, it's one thing for Cody Rhodes to do because that's literally what he's being told to say. By the writers, but y'all are saying this as the viewers, like, y'all can literally see what's going on, and y'all are acting like like y'all didn't see what was, like, that Drew McIntyre was already crawling out the cage, so he would have won regardless. Jacob Fatu's interference did not help him at all. It was Cody, like, Drew McIntyre would have won regardless. He would have gotten that dominant victory over him. Had it, all Jake Fatu did was delay. He didn't help. So yeah, it's trying to say that, oh, Drew McIntyre won the championship in a cowardly way. Oh my gosh. Like, that's what Intern John, Heels Advocate, and Cjax are saying. And it's like, bro, he would have won regardless. He was literally almost out the case before Jake Fatu had even gotten there. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? That doesn't even make any sense. And so, yeah, they want to talk about how Drew McIntyre, he's a cowardly champion. That was another reason why they said that. And it's like, bro, maybe not Cjax. I do remember him saying that, like, Cody cost it himself. But he did kind of, like, say that Drew McIntyre kind of won it in a cowardly way. And, like, he was kind of, like, or he didn't win, like, clean or whatever, right? Like, or whatever. Yeah, something like that. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. But, like, saying he won it in a cowardly way, though, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. How did he win it in a cowardly way when he was already almost out the case before Jake Fatu had even gotten there? He would have won regardless. Cody screwed himself. That's the reason why he ended up losing at the end, though. And that's it. There is no interference that helped Drew McIntyre. There was no help. Cody screwed himself, and that's it. That's it. It wasn't a dominant win, but that's only because of Cody Rhodes being a fucking idiot. But that doesn't mean Drew McIntyre won the championship in a cowardly way. So yeah, that's all. That's what I have to say there as far as the cowardly champion thing for why they don't like Drew McIntyre's championship reign. But another thing too is that they've been saying that Drew McIntyre feels like an afterthought. He doesn't feel like he's a champion. They feel like he's just the same. Well, what do you want him to do? Like, what kind of character change do you want for him? Like, do you want him to just like I don't understand. Like, he's been this character for years and y'all liked him. And then all of a sudden he's a champion and y'all want him to change all of a sudden. All of a sudden now, after a whole month, barely a whole month of him being a champion, and now y'all want him to change. Now y'all want him to be different. Now y'all want his character to be different. It was more so Intern John saying this because it was like last week. I remember he was like, last Friday, he was like, oh, Drew McIntyre, he's just the same character. He's not changing at all. And I'm like, bro, why does that, like, I mean, like, I get it. It's your personal preference, but at the same time, it doesn't really make sense how you were okay with that character and saying he was cutting good promos and how entertained you were by him. And then all of a sudden now you're like, oh man, he's stale. After barely a month of him being a champion, you want to say he's stale and he's like, and that he needs a character change and that he's still the same character. Like, what? He's been the same. Yeah, he's been the same character for like, what, 3 years now since he became, since like late 2023. That was his whole character change. That was whenever early 2024. So, you liked him for all this time, and then he wins the championship, and not even a month later, and then now y'all want to say, oh, he's just the same character, he's getting stale. I'm like, what? And then for y'all to say that, for y'all to be like so upset about Cody Rhodes being a champion and saying that he's boring and that he's trash and that he sucks and that he, it's so monotonous and all these things. But then at the same time, I'm over here watching videos and seeing Cjax, Intern John, and Heels Advocate saying that, oh, Cody needs to win the belt back, because he needs to face Randy Orton, or he needs to face Roman Reigns, or he needs to face or he just needs the belt back because Drew McIntyre, he's not being booked good as a champion or whatever. But yeah, we're literally hating on Cody Rhodes for being boring and being trash with his championship reign, and now y'all want him to have the championship back. How the fuck does that make any sense? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why the fuck? How can y'all say y'all are tired of Cody and Roman, and y'all don't want them to face for the third time? But then once Drew McIntyre wins the championship, y'all are like, oh man, we need Cody to win the championship back, so he can face Roman, or so he could face Randy, or so he could face someone else or whatever. I even saw Intern John saying that Drew should lose the championship and then just give it to Sammy. Like, what the fuck? You literally don't even like this guy. Now you want Drew McIntyre of all people to lose to this fucking homeless looking bum? What the fuck is that, man? You don't even like. I'm just joking, by the way, but like, nah, like seriously though, you literally don't even like Sami Zayn's character, Enter John, and now you want to say, oh, he should lose to Sami Zayn? Literally, him? That's your pick? You don't even fucking like the guy. But because you're so caught up in the moment of not liking his Drew McIntyre's championship ring, you want him to lose to this fucking guy, Sami Zayn of all people. I mean, you're literally one of the biggest haters of him. Even I don't like him, but I'm not over here saying he should win the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get any of this, bro. And then to say that he should lose it to like Cody Rhodes again, when y'all literally don't even like this guy's championship ring. Y'all were literally, whining about it, and not in a bad way, in a good way. Because even I didn't like his championship reign. But I'm not over here switching up all of a sudden, not even a month later, into Drew McIntyre's championship reign and being like, oh yeah, he should lose it back to Cody, or he should lose it to Sami Zayn. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say you should lose it already, especially to people that, y'all don't even like, or that I don't like. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not, it's not even about like got me feeling like y'all have to think a certain way, but I just don't agree with y'all, viewpoints. That's all it is. You can feel how you want to feel, but I just don't agree with it. That's all it is. You do you. Yeah, but it's like, like I heard like Heels Advocate saying like, oh, you should lose it back to Cody again because Drew McIntyre, he's just looking all weak and cowardly, and we need Cody Rhodes to win it back again, and then he could face Roman Reigns. Like, what the fuck? You literally said you don't want to see that again, and that Cody Rhodes championship reign was garbage, and now you want him to lose it again to the same person that you called garbage, so he could face the same person that you don't want even to see for a third time, which is Cody versus Roman Reigns. Like, why? I don't understand that. And then saying that Drew McIntyre is looking weak and cowardly, like, I mean, like I said, I already responded to the cowardly, weak part thing, but, it doesn't, it also, from this perspective, look, literally, if Cjax, Heels Advocate, and Intern John want these, like, one-off matches, that's, because, more specifically, like, I saw Cjax, for example, saying that, oh, Drew McIntyre should have lost the belt to Cody at Elimination Chamber, so that would be good. He could face Randy Orton for WrestleMania so we could get something different. Oh, wow, you want something different that badly, it's that to the point where you want the same guy to be the champion. Really? Like, I get it. You don't want to see Cody versus Drew McIntyre, but, like, bro, why the fuck would you want Cody Rhodes to be the champion again just so you could see a match that, really is honestly not even that much of substance that people are really making it seem like? Because Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Okay, Cody Rhodes wins the belt back. He has a championship for the fucking third time, which is literally what you, Cjax, and you, Heels Advocate, have been not wanting. Literally, even you, Intern John. Like, y'all literally don't want this. But then y'all are saying y'all want him to win the championship back. So for what? So you could have another boring championship reign and have these one-off matches that y'all are asking for, like Roman Reigns and Randy Orton at WrestleMania, like, which, either one. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't, what? Like, see, like, Heels Advocate is saying, like I said, he wants Cody to win the championship back so you could face Roman Reigns for the third time and get that over with. You literally say you don't want that, though. And that Cody's championship reign is garbage. Then you want this guy to win the championship back so you could see a match for the third time that you don't even fucking care about. Like, I don't get that. Especially considering if you do get that, okay, then what are you going to get afterwards? You got what you wanted. You got that one-off match. Then what? Then after WrestleMania, you know you're damn well Cody's going to go back to doing a whole bunch of meaningless filler feuds. So why the fuck would you want this guy to be champion again? And same thing with Cjax saying that he wants Cody. He wanted Cody to win an Elimination Chamber in a triple threat versus Drew McIntyre or some shit like that. Like him facing Rhodes at Elimination Chamber for like a match for the belt, and like Cody, Randy wins the chamber. Cody wins the title, and then they face at WrestleMania. Okay, Cjax, so you want a one-off match for WrestleMania, and then what? Because you know damn well once you get what you want, Cody Rhodes is going to go back to his garbage championship reign. Oh, my bad, guys. I thought I heard something. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, so you want Cody Rhodes to be the champion so you could face Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Okay, and then what? Then afterwards, you know damn well Cjax that he's going to his championship reign is going to be complete ass afterwards. It's just going to be a one-off match at WrestleMania. Same thing with, he was advocate saying he wants Roman and Cody for WrestleMania. That's going to be a one-off match too, and then it's going to be complete garbage reign afterwards. So why do y'all want this shit? I don't understand. Why y'all want Cody Rhodes to be a champion again? Or why y'all want Sami Zayn to be champion again just because, Drew McIntyre's championship reign, I don't think is good. Okay, it's like, y'all were literally so happy, though, that he won the championship, and now y'all want to switch up already, like a month later. I just don't get it. I don't understand why, Like, y'all can say all these things about him being cowardly. Again, I already responded to that. I responded to that. And now I'm responding to the part where they pretty much said that Drew McIntyre, he feels like an afterthought champion. His championship reign is not good. So therefore, he should lose it to these fucking people. People that they don't even care for or don't even like. That doesn't even make any sense. But, I there has been a couple of weeks for sure. Like, before the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre was backstage. That he did feel like an afterthought there. He did feel like an afterthought. He felt like an afterthought, I think, also when the week that he, like 2 weeks ago when he attacked Jake Fatu and Cody Rhodes in the elimination qualifier. He felt like an afterthought there too because he was backstage again, and then he only came out there to attack them. Both of them, Jacob Fatu and Rhodes. So, yeah, he felt like an afterthought for, 2 weeks in a row for sure. Or at least in those two instances, in those two Fridays. But all the other weeks, though, he has been in the ring or outside the ring, like on the commentary table, cutting promos. And nonetheless, whether you don't like it or not, I mean, he has been at least showing up. Even if it's interfering in matches, at least he's still there. He still feel his presence, right? Or he's, like I said, he's in the ring, or he's cutting a promo, or on the ring side cutting a promo. So I don't understand the whole afterthought thing. I don't get it. Like, is it because is it also because he's not having some interesting storylines? I mean, neither did Cody Rhodes. But yeah, I want him to be the champion again. I don't understand that. I don't get it, bro. I don't understand. And that's the whole thing too. Is just that at the end of the day, the thing with Drew McIntyre is that he can carry feuds. Cody Rhodes, he doesn't carry feuds. So even when he does have an interesting storyline, he's gonna get carried. We've seen it time and time again. That's why when Heels Advocate is talking about like, oh, he contradicts himself. He says, oh, Cody Rhodes, he's a bad champion because he sucks. And then he'll contradict himself and say, oh, he's a bad champion because he doesn't have any good heels to go against. Bro, literally all the heels that he goes against are better than him. They carry the feud and they're more entertaining than him. Like, come on, bro. Like, literally. So I don't like Cody Rhodes doesn't carry feuds. He always gets carried by everyone else that's a heel or a baby face. It doesn't even matter. Drew McIntyre can carry. And that's why you see people, there has been people, you may not agree, but there has been people who said Drew McIntyre carried the Cody Rhodes feud, he carried the CM Punk feud, he carried, the freaking Damian Priest feud. Like, people say these things, but they don't say that about Cody Rhodes. Because Drew McIntyre actually has the ability to be entertaining. He may not have the best storylines, but hell, at least this guy can cut promos. Cody Rhodes cannot do that shit. Cody Rhodes, his championship reign sucks. Drew McIntyre's championship reign, yeah, it may not be that interesting to the most it can be, right? With like interesting storylines and actually meaningful feuds, for sure. I get that. But saying his championship reign is just garbage and he deserves to lose the title to like Sami Zayn or like Cody Rhodes again, like, come on, man. Seriously? Like, Drew McIntyre he's way more entertaining than Cody's championship reign. And he's more entertaining than Sami Zayn. Literally, I just don't, like, agree with them saying all these things about Drew McIntyre's championship reign on why they think it's not good. And then they want to say, like, oh, yeah, he looks weak. He's presented as weak because he loses to people like CM Punk, or he loses to people like Cody Rhodes or Damian Priest. He's always losing or whatever. And yeah, like, people say all these things, but like Heels Advocate, Intern, John, Cjax, they've been saying that. So that's also a reason why they don't like his championship reign, is because the way he's been presented as just someone who loses all the time and loses to weaker people or whatever. But the thing is, in 2025, if you go down the list of matches, when it comes to his win-loss record, it was actually 7 losses and 6 wins, which is not that bad as people make it out to be. Even I thought it was worse, but it actually wasn't. In total, he lost 12 and won 12. But if we're talking singles matches, he lost 7 of them, but he won 6 of them. Now, yes, I get why people think he's on some kind of big losing streak, and that's because he's a big, strong guy, and because, sometimes he does lose to weaker people, and because, he's one of the top stars in the company. So I get it. And like a lot of the feuds that he's in are like major feuds, like people that that he's beefing with for real, like, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes. Like, I get it. These are like his major feuds, and he was like losing all of these matches. I get it. But at the end of the day, his win-loss record wasn't as bad as people made it out to be when it comes to all his matches in total and his singles matches. Like, it just wasn't that bad. It wasn't. His singles matches, he lost 7 of them, but he won 6 of them. So, yeah, I mean, and when you look at the way, because when you look at the way he was losing those matches, Drew McIntyre didn't lose those matches like dominantly clean. Because there's a difference between winning clean. I feel like people don't understand this. There's fans who don't understand. There's a difference with winning clean and winning dominantly clean. So, for example, when freaking I'm trying to think of an example here. So, when like I'm trying to think real quick because I'm sure I could think of one here. So, because I'm really trying to think of some examples that I could give you guys because I'm really trying to like make a point in this situation. So when Drew McIntyre, let's just say when Sami Zayn lost to Braun Breaker, he lost clean, but he didn't lose dominantly clean because Braun Breaker, he only beat him because Sami Zayn had a stomach injury from Karen Cross. Remember, he hit him with the pipe. So Braun Breaker beat him clean, but not dominantly clean. So even Brock Lesnar, he beat Cody Rhodes one time, but it wasn't dominant. He beat him clean, but he didn't beat him dominantly clean because Cody Rhodes had an arm injury, and that was pretty much their excuse and storyline for why he lost. Because he had an arm injury. So Cody Rhodes lost clean to Brock Lesnar, but not dominantly clean because he had an arm injury. So there is a difference between losing clean and dominantly clean. Drew McIntyre never lost dominantly clean since Triple H took over. From what I've been paying attention to, all the matches that he had that he lost, he never lost dominantly clean unless it was Randy Orton. Randy Orton beat this guy with one RKO. Literally, in 2025, they had that match. And the match was like a little bit over 12 minutes, and he lost to one RKO. Literally. Only Randy Orton beat this guy dominantly clean. Since at least when Triple H has been taking over the reins and booking Drew McIntyre. It's only been him. But Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and all these people, and Seth Rollins, all these people that you could probably name, they never beat Drew McIntyre dominantly clean. Because, first of all, CM Punk, people like to bring that up as an example, but look, CM Punk literally had to hit Drew McIntyre. The first match that CM Punk won against Drew McIntyre, he had to hit Drew McIntyre with 3 GTSs. 3 of them, back to back. Just to fucking win against Drew McIntyre. It was, and by the way, it was like over a 24-minute match. So even CM Punk wasn't able to dominantly clean, he wasn't able to get that kind of big victory over Drew McIntyre where he was dominating him and then beat him, clean in a dominant fashion. Because he had to, it was like a match that was like, what? I don't even know. I think it was like, I don't even remember, bro. It was like at least 20, I'm trying to think. It was like 24 minutes long. The match was like 24 minutes long, and CM Punk took that long to beat him, and was only finally able to beat him when he hit Drew McIntyre with three finishers, 3 GTSs back to back. So yeah, CM Punk beat him, but it wasn't that easy to beat him though. It took over 24 minutes for CM Punk to beat him, and it took like 3 finishers back to back immediately just to beat Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre never lost dominantly clean to CM Punk in that in either match. So yeah, that's and also in Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre only lost because he didn't lose dominantly clean to CM Punk in Hell in a Cell either, because Drew McIntyre had a guy hit with the toolbox, and then Drew McIntyre accidentally landed on the steel steps and pretty much hurt himself and sprained his back really badly and almost broke his back. Then CM Punk hit him with the GTS, a finisher. Then while he had like a chain wrapped around his knee. So even in Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre didn't lose dominantly clean to CM Punk. So all the times that CM Punk beat him, which was 2 times, Drew McIntyre beat him 1 time, but the 2 times that CM Punk beat Drew McIntyre, he didn't beat him dominantly clean. He beat him clean, but not dominantly clean. So Drew McIntyre still looked strong when he lost to CM Punk. He didn't lose so easily to him. So I don't know. I don't understand this whole narrative of him being a weak champion. Intern Johnny Hill's advocate, they keep saying that because he's losing to CM Punk or he's losing to Seth Rollins or he's losing to Jimmy Uso or Jay Uso, and they talk about him losing in 2025 all the time and all this and that. Like I said, his win-loss record wasn't that bad as people made it out to be. But also, in terms of like even just like the singles matches, but also, whenever they say he loses to weaker guys or whatever, and how that makes him look weak, so that's why he's not like a credible threat when he's a champion, holding the championship, the WWE championship. It doesn't make sense, because they want to talk about, how CM Punk beat him. Okay, yeah, but CM Punk beat him after 24 minutes, and he had to hit him with 3 GTSs back to back just to beat him. So it's not like CM Punk beat him easily, with just with just 1 GTS, If CM Punk beat him in 4 minutes and with 1 GTS, sure, that's a dominant victory over Drew McIntyre, and that makes Drew McIntyre look weak. But Drew McIntyre was in that match for a long ass time. The first match that CM Punk went over Drew McIntyre, they were in that match for a long ass time, and it took finally CM Punk hitting Drew McIntyre with 3 GTSs back to back just for him to beat Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre still looked strong when he lost against CM Punk in that first match. Then the second time that CM Punk beat him in Hell in a Cell, even in that match, Drew McIntyre still looked strong when he lost because like I said, CM Punk, he hit him with a toolbox, which caused him to bleed out in a lot of pain. He had his head open, and then Drew McIntyre accidentally landed his back on the steel steps, spraining his back in a lot of pain. He landed on the steel steps, and he sprained his back really badly, almost breaking it. He pretty much injured himself though. And then CM Punk hit him with the GTS while he had a chain wrapped around his knee. So yeah, even when he lost against CM Punk the second time in Hell in a Cell, he still looked strong. So Drew McIntyre never looked weak all the times that he lost to CM Punk, which was only 2 times. So, y'all can say that he looks weak for losing to people like CM Punk, but CM Punk never beat this guy dominantly clean. If you have to go over 24 minutes and hit Drew McIntyre with 3 GTSs just to beat him the first time, that's not a dominant clean victory. It's a clean victory, but not a dominant clean victory. And like I said, in Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, he had his head busted open with the toolbox. He landed on the steel steps, almost breaking it. He was hit with the GTS. And then CM Punk was able to beat him at Hell in a Cell. So all the times that Drew McIntyre lost to CM Punk twice, he still looked strong. And also, in all the matches, like the match that Drew McIntyre did win against CM Punk, people say, oh, he only won because of Seth Rollins. Bro, he would have won regardless because he was dominating CM Punk that whole match. So even whether Drew McIntyre lost or won against CM Punk, he still looked strong because he was literally dominating CM Punk in all the matches that they had, whether he won or lost. So, he never looked weak when he lost against people like CM Punk or even Cody Rhodes because, for example, when he lost against Seth Rollins, the first world title match, Drew McIntyre said, I cost it myself because I was caught off guard when you slapped me in the face. And plus I was showing sympathy because of your injury. So I cost it myself. So Drew McIntyre, he screwed himself out of that match. So Seth Rollins never got some kind of dominant clean victory over Drew McIntyre in that match. The other world title match that Seth Rollins won against Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins literally quickly, rolled off of Drew McIntyre.
He quickly rolled off of Drew McIntyre. He kicked Drew McIntyre in the stomach. He hit him with the finisher, the pedigree, through the hard ass announce table. Then he had to hit him with another finisher, the curb stomp, to finally be able to defeat him. So even Seth Rollins never got a dominant, clean victory over Drew McIntyre. He had clean victories, but not dominant, clean victories. In 2025, they faced off again, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. But even that match, Seth Rollins hit Drew McIntyre with like some sneaky fast roll up just to beat him. So even when he lost, even all the 3 times that Drew McIntyre lost to Seth Rollins, he never lost like dominantly clean. He lost clean, but not dominantly clean. So he still looked strong even when he lost against Seth Rollins. When he lost against Jey Uso last year in 2025, again, Jey Uso, just like Seth Rollins, he hit him with the sneaky fast roll up just to be able to beat Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest in the Elimination Chamber, same thing. He hit him with a fast, sneaky roll up just to beat him in the Elimination Chamber. Jimmy Uso, same thing. He hit him with a fast, sneaky roll up on Drew McIntyre just to be able to beat him. And when Cody Rhodes beat Drew McIntyre, first of all, he didn't look weak there either, because Cody Rhodes, he won at WrestlePalooza because the referee was like getting in Drew McIntyre's way, which caused him to match twice. Because the first time, and then the second time, I think he was like he was counting a pin and the referee didn't count it. But the first time Drew McIntyre was trying to, he costed him. The referee was literally standing in the way, which led Cody Rhodes to move out the way whenever Drew McIntyre tried to hit him through the announce table, which caused Drew McIntyre's leg to get injured, which led to Cody Rhodes being able to capitalize on that later on in the match with the Cody Cutter, which led to Drew McIntyre losing. So that, the referee interference is what caused Drew McIntyre to lose at WrestlePalooza against Cody Rhodes. So he never lost dominantly clean against Cody Rhodes in WrestlePalooza either. Because the referee interference making him get injured with his leg, because that's what led to Cody Rhodes moving out the way. When Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore through the announce table, then, when Drew McIntyre's leg was injured, Cody Rhodes was able to capitalize towards the end of the match with a Cody Cutter, a finisher, finisher pretty much, yeah. So, yeah, like it's not like even in that match he didn't lose dominantly clean to Cody Rhodes. Not even clean, just not even regular clean, just not even clean at all. It was just like referee interference, unintentional cheating here, right? Then at Saturday Night's main event, when Cody Rhodes beat him the second time, the only reason Cody Rhodes beat him is because he hit him with the title, with the DDT on the title. Then he hit him with the finisher, the Crossroads. Then he was finally able to beat Drew McIntyre. So even when he beat him the second time, it wasn't clean. He never got a dominant, clean victory over Drew McIntyre. And you could point to like, so yeah, Cody Rhodes never got some. Drew McIntyre never looked weak when he lost to Cody Rhodes. Even in 3 Stages of Hell, one of the matches that Drew McIntyre lost, they pretty much presented it in a way where Drew McIntyre still looked strong because it was a no DQ match, which means that which means Cody was able to do whatever to Drew McIntyre. So what happened? They made Drew McIntyre look strong because Cody Rhodes pretty much quickly, sneakily got off Drew McIntyre's shoulders when Drew McIntyre was going to slam him on the ground. And then Cody Rhodes quickly got off sneakily and, hit Drew McIntyre through the metal barricade twice. He put him on the table. He jumped off the barricade onto Drew McIntyre through the table. Then Drew McIntyre, whenever he was outside the ring, he was like giving his last bit of fueled up, amplified attack, I guess. He was trying to kick Cody through the announce table, but Cody super kicked him, which immediately made Drew McIntyre weak again because he just got slammed through a table by Cody Rhodes before that. Then Cody Rhodes hit him with a crossroads through the announce table, and that's how he was finally able to lose. So even when he lost against Cody Rhodes there, it was only because it was a no DQ match, which means Cody Rhodes was able to do whatever to Drew McIntyre. You know, he had literally already before that, Cody Rhodes had slammed him through the announce table or through a regular table after hitting Drew McIntyre through like 2 metal barricades. Then once he slammed him, he then ended up cross-roading him through an announce table. Then he was finally able to beat Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre never lost all these 3 times to Cody Rhodes looking weak. He still looks strong. So how exactly is Drew McIntyre a weak champion? You know, how? How is he a weak champion? How is he a cowardly champion? I just don't get it, man. Even Damian Priest, like I said, Randy Orton, when it comes to Triple H booking Drew McIntyre, the only person who has ever beaten Drew McIntyre dominantly clean is Randy Orton. It was like a match that was like, I don't know, it was like 11 minutes long. Randy Orton hits 1 RKO on him in 2025, and that's what was able to beat Drew McIntyre. So only Randy Orton, since Triple H just took over, has been able to beat Drew McIntyre dominantly clean. Everyone else has never done it because they either have to cheat, or they have to rely on interference, or they have to sneakily quickly roll this guy up with the foot roll up, or Drew McIntyre has to be injured. So Drew McIntyre has never, or it has to be a no DQ match, which means he could be brutalized to the fullest extent. So Drew McIntyre has never lost against anyone since Triple H took over dominantly clean to where he looks weak. He only lost dominantly clean to Orton. Because even Damian Priest, when he won against Drew McIntyre in that steel cage, you got to remember, Drew McIntyre had the neck injury, plus he was hitting the head with the fucking steel chair hard as hell, which knocked him out. Plus he had the neck injury, like I said, which caused more damage to him, which led to Damian Priest being able to win. So even against Damian Priest, bro, he wasn't able to lose dominantly clean. Because even in all the other matches that he had with Priest, it was only because of CM Punk interfering that Damian Priest won. So even against Damian Priest, he never lost dominantly clean to Damian Priest. Seriously. So all this talk about Drew McIntyre looking weak, he's a weak champion because he loses to people like CM Punk or Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins or Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso or Damian Priest or, Randy Orton. It's like, I can say all these things, but like his win-loss record in 2025 wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. He lost 7 matches, but he won 6 of them. And all the matches that he lost, he didn't lose dominantly clean besides Randy Orton in 2025. That's it. So, that's pretty much my response to Heels Advocate. Intern John and Cjax saying that Drew McIntyre is not a good champion. I disagree with all their points. The cowardly champion thing is not, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with them saying he's a weak champion. I don't agree with them saying he's an afterthought champion. And also, like, I get it. Like, Drew McIntyre, he's never had the best booking. All the meaningful feuds that he had, yes, he did lose them. I get it. And he did, oftentimes, never have any, major storylines, so I get it. Even now, with him, with the WWE, he's the number 1 guy right now because he has the undisputed, but it's like, he doesn't have the best booking even now, but, still, he's still a good champion. He's always been good despite his bad booking. It's the same thing with LA Knight. LA Knight can be good despite his bad booking. Same thing with Chelsea Green. Same thing with fucking, there's many others. A lot of WWE wrestlers that are jobbers. Doesn't mean they're garbage. Even if they have a championship and they're still being booked badly, doesn't mean they're garbage. It just means the booking is garbage. Um, but I understand their perspective of wanting him to be his championship to feel better and to be more prestige. I get it, but I just don't agree with all the viewpoints on why they said it's garbage. It's Drew Mac, and then for them to say that they want him to lose it to Cody Rhodes again, or people like Sami Zayn. I even saw Intern John say like Trick Williams. I wouldn't mind that, but it has to be at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre should walk into WrestleMania as champion, and he should be the one to honestly main event night too. Because I don't give a fuck what WWE says. I don't give a fuck what the wrestlers say. But Drew McIntyre is literally holding the number one title, and he's literally the one that everyone's going after. All the wrestlers are going after in kayfabe, in storyline, and he's the one that isn't a fucking part-timer and isn't a 47-year-old washed-up champion. So why the fuck should he be the one to main event night one, or not even main event either one of them? Like, why the fuck would he do that? He's literally like, it just doesn't make sense for him not to main event night two. But that they're gonna fucking put Roman and CM Punk when they don't deserve it, because Roman is a part-timer and CM Punk is a 47-year-old washed-up garbage wrestler and champion. Why do you think no one's really talking about CM Punk's championship reign until Roman Reigns came along? Then all of a sudden everyone became interested in CM Punk and saying that he's good and whatnot. But people have been recently saying that his promos have been boring. So it's like, if CM Punk, I don't get it, man. Why the fuck should CM Punk and Roman Reigns main event night too? I don't give a fuck if they're bigger stars than Drew McIntyre, or if people care more for their match. At the end of the day, like I said, Drew McIntyre is holding the undisputed title, the number one, and he's the one that the wrestlers are going after, and he's actually there every single week. He's not a fucking part-timer, nor is he washed up in the ring or on the mic like CM Punk. So why the fuck should he have to step aside in main event night one, or be the one to like not main event anything? Like, why? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And Enter John could say things like, oh yeah, Drew McIntyre, he carried the pandemic, but it doesn't really matter because of the way he's being booked. Yeah, it does matter, because Drew McIntyre carrying WWE during the pandemic really shows that he's actually consistent as a performer. He's there every week. He was there during the toughest times. He was there giving people entertainment. He was there. He never quit. He never talked bad about WWE. He never left. He never went part-time. He stuck through the tough times and gave entertainment to people. And a lot of people consider his championship reigns during COVID really good. So yeah, it does fucking matter. Despite the way he's being booked right now, or the way you think he's being booked, which some of the stuff, like I said, I don't agree with Intern John, Heels Advocate, and Cjax, with some of the stuff they said. But regardless of the way they think he's being booked, it doesn't fucking matter. Him carrying WWE during the pandemic does matter. Whether if Intern John thinks it doesn't or not, So that's all I have to say at this point. That's pretty much my response to Cjax. And, freaking Intern and Advocate, all of them, I like their videos. I agree with them with a lot of them, but man, some of their takes, I don't agree with them. Honestly, I think some of their takes are just as bad as Triple H's, or at least they're not any better than some of the ideas that they're critiquing with Triple H, that's just how I feel personally. But I still like them though, and their videos are entertaining and they speak facts. Intern John, Heels Advocate, Cjax, they're all great YouTubers. But I just don't agree with some of the takes sometimes that they say, especially about Drew McIntyre recently. They've been saying he's a garbage champion. I wanted to respond to that. So this is pretty much my response to everything they had to say. I think one of the final point I'm gonna make with what they said, I think they talked about how what's it called? Drew McIntyre. They said something about how, his character is, he's too comedic or whatever, right? And it's hard to take him serious or whatever, along with him being cowardly. But I they literally haven't, more specifically like Intern John, and is more critical of this. But I don't get that though, because like you literally say you like all his promos, but then at the same time you want to say that you don't like his character because he's too comedic. Like, so do you like his promos or not? I don't get it. Especially because if you say his character is the same as it was before he was champion, then how is his promos or his character bad because it's comedic? I don't get it. Drew McIntyre, he doesn't have to be one dimensional. He could be funny. He could be serious. He could be goofy. He could be sad. He could be anything. Drew McIntyre is one of the only characters that can be like serious, but also goofy at the same time. Like imagine Tiffany Stratton, like her trying to be angry and serious. Like, you can't take it serious. Like, come on, man. You can't take it serious with like, Otis. Like you can't. Like, Drew McIntyre is one of the only few people who can actually be serious and be goofy at the same time. You could be goofy 1 second, and then the next second you could be angry and serious and like intimidating. He's one of the only people that can do it. So I just don't agree with Intern John saying that he's about his comedic thing being bad. Like, how is it bad? I don't get it. At the end of the day, like, you can say it makes him a weak champion, which, going back to that, but like, it doesn't, because he's one of the only few people who can be believable as being comedic and then being serious at the same time. He can pull it off well. He's been doing it for years now, since he's like been this anti-hero. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.